Beatles, widows, balls of ghouls, how are you all doing? Today, I'm going to be looking at Ghosts on Trent. Now, a bit of backstory to this. Ghosts on Trent interviewed a guy ages and ages and ages ago, and he told the story of a haunting in his house, the lady in the bay window, and I was enthralled by it. Then the Paranormal Monkey podcast did a podcast with the guy, and I've paid very, very close attention, and I'm like, this guy's story hasn't changed. Nothing has changed. Not like he's telling the exact same thing the exact same way every time. All of the ingredients to the tale are there, but it's not like he's just reading it off a script, is what I'm trying to say. This seems to be lodged in his memory. I have spoken to him behind the scenes. He's a very, very nice guy. And the more things that happen around this case, the more I'm like, wow. He does the interview with Ghosts on Trent, he does the podcast with Paranormal Monkey podcast, and people are like, get Beardo in there, get Beardo in there. And I'm like, I'd love to. You know, something that isn't being done for monetary gain for a start, because while his book has sold very, very, very well, none of this is for monetary gain, like, at all. He's not hiring out his home to paranormal investigators to come in. He makes no money off the book itself. Any earnings off the book have all gone to charity, so he has no financial gain. Now, and very recently, he's opened up his house to allowing an investigation team in. But he didn't go to the biggest channels. He didn't go to, like, one of the big, well-known faker channels. If this was about pushing his book sales, then, you know, there are teams in the UK with hundreds of thousands of subscribers that he could have brought in to push his book, and he didn't. He went with a team that he trusts that are not a huge team. For a real team, they're a large channel, but he picked Ghosts on Trent. Absolutely fantastic. And people at the time when it was announced were like, take Beardo, take Beardo. I was like, I'd love to, but Ghosts on Trent put this story out there. Ghosts on Trent did the interview with this guy. This is Ghosts on Trent's thing. Don't attach my name to it. Let the guys have it. So they do the investigation, they do all the filming, and fair play to them. These guys, the Ghost Quad and the Ouija Brothers, they all lend cameras to Ghosts on Trent so they can get more angles. They've got 2 cameras, they ended up going with 6. And I can only imagine and appreciate the editing that it took for Paul to put this together through 6 cameras filmed all night. So I watched the investigation video. People are messaging me and emailing me, when's Ghosts on Trent's video coming out? When's it coming? When's it coming? And I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to start with so much footage. So it'll be when it is. I know Paul was struggling with the amount of editing that was involved, and like, Jesus, this is a lot. I hope it's worth it. They bring the episode out, The Lady in the Bay Window, a haunting of a Sheffield home. And it's done 78k views on the channel. And off the bat, I appreciate the editing, the amount of cameras, the team's coming together to help them with getting the amount of cameras that they needed. But it's an hour and 38 minutes where not a lot happens. There's a few little knocks and bangs and like, oh, is that on command? But it is such a fantastic, real investigation. If you're going in there to get freaked out and jump and scream and shadow bastard and stuff, it ain't it. But then I start getting all these screenshots sent to me on Facebook and in emails like, I think Ghosts on Trent actually captured a ghost on camera. Don't be silly. No, they didn't. So I'm going to take you to the original video frames that people had sent me. And we're going to take a look off the original video. And then we're going to have a look at something Ghosts on Trent have put out. We'll frame by frame this, because when I first looked at it, I just went, it's paradolia, the reflection of the chair, the reflection of the door, anything other than it's not a ghost. Let me turn this light out so I can actually see my monitor properly. Go frame by frame. Now, in this window, the first thing I want to point out is there is obviously moisture on the window. It was raining that night. And there's trees and light coming through the trees. So paradolia is going to be quite rife here. And I'm looking, I'm like, I can't see what you're looking at. I mean, there's like a giant rubber lip there, and there's a giant eyeball there, and another eyeball there. It's all out of proportion. What am I looking at? Back a frame, back a frame, back a frame. And then I looked and I'm like, nope, No. Ooh. I got this bit of a cold shiver because that looks like an eye. That looks like an eye. That looks like a nose. That looks like a mouth. Could this be the head and the shoulder? But I'm like, surely this is the back of the chair, but it's not. It doesn't match up with the chair. I still think it's a reflection of something in there, but look at it. Eye, nose, mouth. There's like wisps of hair. There's a defined forehead. The hell is that? Now, I still think that's paradolia of a face, because we are trained to look for faces, but Jesus, there's a face looking back at me. And my initial skeptical brain says it's nothing but paradolia. But the story is the woman in the bay window, where people look up at windows in this house from outside and they see an old lady looking at them. The homeowner himself has never seen her. He's seen things happen, he's heard things, but he's never seen her. Is that the face of the woman in the bay window? Well, it's not a bay window. I think that itself is paradolia, but maybe I'm looking in the wrong area.
Oh,
we look in real time.
So I've now come into Liam's stepson's.
So we've got two computer monitors, computer chair, and a door. And Paul obviously sat on, I assume, to be the bed.
Room?
Quick pan of the camera. It's not even a pan of the camera, it's just his movement while he settles in. Well, that's definitely not Paul's face reflecting. Because Paul wears a hat pretty much pulled down to his eyebrows most of the time. Paul doesn't have sort of wiry, curly hair. But, you know, is this just a break in the tree that looks like that? Is this just a break in the tree? I think it's a mixture of moisture on the window, reflections of stuff in the room reflecting back out, and the trees causing what looks to be a face. I personally think. I don't think anyone's faked anything here. I don't think anyone's added anything to mask that face in, make it all like translucent and stuff. No. Absolutely not. Now, I've tried to stay away from comments and outside influence on this to see if what I'm seeing is what other people are seeing, and to me, I think people are seeing this as a face, like an old woman leaning in, like that kind of job. I mean, you could go a step further and say, look, there's her hands reaching around something. It's not, but it's cool. I like it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to watch and react to, did I just catch a real ghost on camera? I haven't watched this yet. I've been dying to watch it, but I haven't watched it because I wanted to record a raw reaction to it. And I want to see what everyone else is seeing. Is it the face that I saw, or have they seen something else? So let's go.
Does this footage prove the existence of ghosts?
Gotta love a dead cold narration.
During a solo investigation of a property infamous for reports of a mysterious lady seen in the bay window, Paul captured something he never expected. Earlier that day, Paul and Mark spent the afternoon filming interviews with Liam, the homeowner, and Joanne, a local historian familiar with the house's eerie reputation. After setting up static cameras throughout the property, they left for dinner, hoping they'd catch something while they were gone.
I have CCTV inside my house in certain places, you know, not to capture ghostly activity. It's because of the stuff that I've got in my studio, the motorbikes in the garage and stuff. We've got external CCTV, but the non-lived in areas where, you know, my camera gear, my PC and stuff, the motorbikes, and certain points of entry into the house, we do have covered by CCTV. It's triggered by sound, it's triggered by movement. I've never had knocks that defined that trigger the camera. Now and again, the camera will trigger and I'll be looking, and then you'll see like a spider has come into shot or a fly has come through the shot. Now and again, it'll be a noise from the outside that's come in that's managed to trigger it that sounds somewhat like a voice, but you can kind of tell it's a car. I don't get knocks like that. Not crisp, clear knocks, but the microphones on my CCTV are nowhere near as good as what's on these microphones. But still, does anyone else's house make those noises? My house cracks and groans a bit, you know, sort of 7, 8 p.m. in the summer. In the winter, it's constant because of the heating.
A few unexplained noises surfaced in the footage, but nothing conclusive.
Well, I would agree. There's, for me to sit there and say those knocks are paranormal would be absolutely ridiculous. But the only way to tell what those knocks are is to spend a lot of time there. Record those knocks, what times they happen. Is it only after you've left the house and the pressure changes, after you've closed the front door and after you've closed the windows? You know, is there a pattern to it that means that it's not anything untoward? You look at all the logical first, anything left over, look logically at that. And then maybe there's something weird going on. So I can't debunk it because I've not been in that house. I don't know how the house settles, what noises are just regular noises from that house.
Then night fell. They returned, switched off the lights, and began the investigation. They once again left the cameras recording across the house. But the night remained quiet. Almost too quiet. That's when Paul and Mark made the decision to investigate separately. Paul investigated first. Mark and Liam headed to the pub, planning to return about 30 minutes later.
If I went to the pub, it wouldn't be no 30 minutes. It'd be an hour minimum.
Alone, Paul started the investigation in the living room.
So they show themselves locking the doors, we've just seen there. But not only that, but when they approach the house, a smart device goes off to tell them that somebody's at the door. So whilst you can never prove unless you've got 360 cameras in every room that there's nobody there, I trust these guys. I've always trusted these guys. I will work with these guys at the drop of a hat. And before those people come in, saying it's all bollocks and you're just sticking up for your mates, I ain't arguing with you. A lot of people, no matter what I say about the Ouija brothers and Ghosts on Trent, will shit on them just because they don't like me. Fine, I'm ignoring those comments. It's just one of those things where I'm banging my head against a brick wall. It's like, you're a debunker, you can't believe in the paranormal. Yes, I can. It's my channel. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, guys. I'm now all alone in the house.
So we keep saying, you know, is that hat glued to Paul's head? And I believe that it is. I think that jacket is too. Not to his head. That'd be stupid.
I would love for you to get me out of this house. Make me not want to stay the night. Make me leave and never return. I believe you were seen in this corner many years ago when Liam first moved in.
Slowly making his way upstairs to the master bedroom, where there had been multiple sightings of the mysterious lady in the bay window.
Can we just appreciate, not Paul's ass, you weirdos, can we just appreciate Dead Cole's narration? Loads of us use it, with good reason. He's got that haunting yet soothing tone to it.
Still, nothing. But something felt off. The air was heavy, and silence filled the space like a physical presence. It's hard to describe, something you can only feel when you're truly alone in a place with history like this.
You've been seen inside this bedroom, and that's where I'm coming.
I didn't say it.
Could you show yourself to me, please? Or talk to me?
That's IR glare on the window there.
There's been many families come and go from this house, and some said to still be here. And that's what intrigues us. How is it possible? How is it possible for someone who passed away many, many years ago, to still come in this room and show themselves to people through that window.
I will be leaving a link to Ghosts on Trent and to the Amazon page, or the Amazon store page, to get this book. A, it's a fantastic read. B, all the proceeds go to charity. It goes to cancer charity, which is phenomenal. There has been a lot of money raised for a very good cause through this book.
How is it possible? The thing is, this could actually be a residual haunting, which means you have to be here at the right time of day, night, whatever, right time of year, to catch that moment. And we know that this is how the paranormal works, guys. It's guaranteed that the chances are it's going to be a quiet night. And so far, it's been just that.
He moved into the next room, Liam's office and occasional guest room for his stepson. He approached the window and asked a few questions.
When he looks out the window, you can see that there's actually rainfall on the window. You can see the trees and the light bleeding through the trees, so the paradolia is going to be rife, but I still want to see what other people are seeing.
You've been seen in the garden. Walking around outside. Could you show yourself out there?
Oh.
He began describing his surroundings, slowly panning the camera around.
Okay, so I've now come into Liam's stepson's room.
Unknowingly, he captured something chilling. Something that looks like a woman staring through the window. Was it a trick of the light? A shadow? Or did he unknowingly capture the very entity people have talked about for years?
Right, so what I was looking at, the sort of the bigger face that was up there, is not what people are seeing. It's this face here? Or is it this? It can't be this. This is clearly the reflection of something in that room. So there's a mouth, there's the nose, there's the eyes.
Decide for yourself.
So the face I saw isn't the face others are seeing. It's this here, maybe? I'm trying to look. Now, potentially this is what people are seeing as a face. Nobody is thinking this, are they? Because that looks like some sort of door. There's the door handle. Yeah, this is just a reflection of the door and the wall. There's the crack down the door. Or is there another face in there I'm not seeing? Now, the problem is, for me, obviously people are seeing this as a face, or maybe there's something else that I'm not seeing as the face. But when you zoom in, what I saw as a face changes into just trees and light bleeding through. And what we hear, I can't really see that face. That's kind of there. As much as I would have loved for Ghosts on Trent to be the guys that captured an apparition, or the reflection of an apparition. For me, especially because the initial thing I was looking at was the wrong face. I'm just seeing faces in patterns. And I think that's what's going on with what other people are seeing there. It's creepy. It gave me the first time I saw the face that I saw. We're already primed to be looking for an old lady because of, the name of the story, especially when you've read the book and watched the interviews. For me, it's paradolia. The fact that I saw the wrong face whilst looking for this face, to me, doubles down on it just being paradolia. But don't twist what I'm saying. I am not saying the ghosts on Trent have claimed they've captured a full body apparition, and it's not. That's not what they've done. This is audience participation. Audiences have seen things in this window reflection. And they ain't wrong. They have seen things, but because you're primed, because of the story, you've got the music, you've got the investigation, they're at this place where the story's getting told, and the owner has walked them around, and told them where this lady has been seen. So you're primed to see things there. You're primed, you're waiting to see this lady. And I think that all of that plays too much of a part for those images to be anything other than paradolia. It's cool, paradolia. Really, really cool. The face I saw, I was just like, ooh, don't like that. She's staring into my soul. But it's not a she. It's just the moisture on the window, the leaves, the light coming through from behind the leaves, the IR glare on the window, the door open that we can see in the reflection. There's just too much for me to say, yeah, they've captured a apparition or a face or anything else. For me, they've captured just paradolia. It's really cool, paradolia. It does, both cases, both look like a face. I mean, you could say that that's a little lady's face there. That's some kind of skull there. There's an eye, there's an eye, there's an eyebrow, there's an eyebrow. See, there's a face there, really. Not really, but you know what I mean. I mean, there's a ghostly face there. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh, it's a shame, because it's a question. Did I just catch a real ghost on camera? I think it's the reflection. It's a mixture of reflections of moisture on the window, IR glare, IR lights, lights from behind the trees and the foliage of the trees itself, the chair, the door, the wardrobe. It's cool. And it's cool that everybody's jumped in. Nobody's shouting fakery as far as I know. Now, initially, I was going to react to the full 1 hour and 38 minute video they did, because I think it's fantastic. Again, you're not going to go in there and, it's not the sort of thing Caspersight is going to be able to react to and be, oh, fucking hell, what, shadow bastard and stuff, because this is a real investigation into what is claimed to be a real case. I'm not doubting the case itself. So many different people have come forward to say that they saw something there, that are witness testimonies, and I've seen people in the comment sections, and I've seen other people that have come forward like, hey, I remember this house from this point in time and I can confirm. It's all leading to this really cool haunted story, haunted house story. And I love a good haunted house story. I love a good ghost story, especially when it could be real. Did Ghosts on Trent capture anything that night that convinces me that the house is haunted? No. But if you could just go into what is reported to be a haunted house and guarantee paranormal activity every time, the paranormal then becomes the normal. Most of the fun of the paranormal for me is the hunt. It's the looking for it. It's that feeling you get when you spot something in your head and it's after, you're like, holy shit, what's that? And even if you work it out after, or when you work it out after, like most of us do, you're like, it's a shame, but for a second there, it caught me off guard. Like the door with Ghosts on Trent, when that thing opened and we were there, we were like, holy shit, this doesn't happen for us. This is incredible. And then I checked my camera, Paul's checked his cameras, and we're like, doors open for no reason. Holy shit. And then obviously we see the CCTV footage and it's like, it was Richard slamming the door. You can see the door just slowly creak open, and then gravity does its thing. The door swings, and it's a shame, but it's honest. So I don't think that Paul captured the reflection of the lady in the bay window there. I just think it's paradolia. And in the description, There will be a link to the Facebook profile for the haunted house. There will be a link to Amazon to get the book. There'll be a link to Ghosts on Trent. I hope the owner actually gets the boys back there, because what I would like to do if I was them is to go back to that room in the dark and try to recreate what they've captured there. If they go on a dry night, I don't know, open the window, pour some water down the window so you get that moisture on the outside of the window. Try to recreate it and see, you know, if you get a similar result, because I think they will. Will they get the exact same result? Probably not, because they can't account for every droplet being in the same place. They can't get the door and the chair in the exact same place, guaranteed. But they can try and line things up as close as they can and see if they just recreate that image. And I think they will. But not only that, I think this house needs further visiting. You can't just go somewhere once and be like, it is or it isn't haunted. Well, you could say it is haunted if you go there once and a full-blown apparition walks through and you're like, holy shit, I've just seen a ghost. And I've captured it on camera. This is incredible. Let's blow up the internet. But, you know, if that was possible, then the paranormal becomes the norm. But I do think that this house warrants further investigation. I hope Ghosts on Trent are the guys that go back there. You know, at the end of the day, this is somebody's family home, so he's going to be selective about who he lets in. I would absolutely love to go there. But at the same point, I don't want to take away from Ghosts on Trent. I don't want my energy to ruin anything, because there's a few people online that are like, every time Beardo turns up, the ghosts are not there because he's such a naysayer and blah blah blah. And I wouldn't want my reputation to negatively impact this property, this story, the book, and Ghosts on Trent. As much as I'd love to go there to see if something could happen, because at the end of the day, you can't capture things if you're not there. And whilst, yes, I'm a debunker, yes, I critically think, yes, I'm skeptically minded, I love the paranormal. I love that, you know, there's people always shouting at me, why are you saying ghosts could be real? Because I believe I saw one when I was a child. I've had a few really weird experiences in my time, and I want to capture something concrete. Will I ever capture it? Probably not, but it's fun trying. So do please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Is it just paradolia? Do you think there's a figure staring back through the window, bearing down into your soul? But please go and check out the Ghosts on Trent video. If you've got a few quid spare and you want money to go to a good cause and have a good read that'll have you leaving the bathroom light on when you run across the hallway at night to go for a pee-pee, then the book, The Lady in the Bay Window. It's a fantastic read. It's a very well put together, very well written book. I believe part 2 is on the way as well. It's people's testimonies and the experiences of the family and these events that have happened over years and years and years. I mean, this thing has been going on for quite some time. It's understated. It's not a horror story. It's a ghost story. And I absolutely loved it. I loved the fact that this guy didn't reach out to the biggest creators on YouTube. He went to a tried, tested, real team. And if you don't agree with me that Ghosts on Trent are a real team, absolutely fine. Just don't kick off my comment section, because I cannot be asked arguing with you people. I trust Ghosts on Trent. I trust the Ouija brothers. It's as simple as that. Much love to you all. Beardo out.